Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode number 47. My name is Craig Perales, and the man that brings rocks to a gunfight, Mandrew Montemayor.
You know, like I was saying earlier, I really think that I don't know why it's considered one either. Rolling Rock's considered like a low tier beer, like Natty Light or Keystone or something like that. I think this is far superior to any of that, and I would put this beer with like Coors Light or like Bud Light. I think it deserves to be on that scale.
I like Rolling Rock better than Bud Light or Coors Light.
I think it tastes better than both, and I think it deserves to be up there.
Yeah, we were saying this before. The Kona Big Wave. Is it Big Wave? Which one did we look?
Big Wave is the one that we've had the most, but Kona's the overall brand.
Okay, so Kona's the unofficial Last Call Gaming beer.
Sponsor us.
And then I would put right under that Rolling Rock was kind of the unofficial mascot for us for a while.
I do feel like we're drinking it for a little bit.
We were. Because remember we used to do guys' night at, what's the place by Jester's? The Mexican spot. Remember they would do Rolling Rocks for 50 cents?
Agaves, yeah.
Agaves, yeah. I mean, you can't beat a 50-cent rock. And then D'Angelo's does the $3 32 ounce or something like that. And
ice cold.
Yeah, ice cold, guys. So if you've got a beer at home or just something to sip on, go grab it, drink along with us. But like I said, guys, this is episode number 47. We're going to be talking about the state of play. But first, let's get into what we've been playing. We kind of usually do that at the end. I want to know what you've been playing because I know you just did a nice review on our Instagram, which is at Last Call Productions. If you guys want to check it out, we do reviews on there. So walk me through it. What'd you just beat, and how'd you like it?
Actually, I just finished beating Yakuza Zero and Yakuza Kiwami over the past week and a half. I just did them both back to back, 2 weeks, and I absolutely love it. Like I said, like he was saying, you can go check it out. It's on our Facebook and stuff like that too. I just don't even know where to start with those games because I've never really felt like I was missing out on something my whole life until I played this. I cannot believe because I've already got a pretty steady top 5 that I feels rock solid. That any new thing that I play, actually it wasn't really until Dark Souls, but I didn't really miss anything before. I got Dark Souls a little bit after it came out, and the only thing I'd missed before that was Demon Souls, so I didn't feel like I was really late. There's already 6 Yakuza games out, and I'm playing remasters and remakes of whatever, and I would put Yakuza Zero in my top 5 games.
So Yakuza Zero is before the other one, right?
Yeah, because it goes to Yakuza Zero, and then Yakuza Kiwami is number 1.
Okay, I feel like you ran through that one a lot quicker than you did the Zero one.
It is a lot shorter than the other ones are because it is just a remake. They've added some extra cutscenes and stuff like that to it. And I would say, for anyone who wants to jump into them, play Zero first. I know that there are some people you play 1, but you get it for what it is, and then go through and play 0 and really see the journey that got you there. I thought it was a lot better to see the journey that got you there first, because then I was playing 1. There's so many things too that I was like, oh, holy fuck, no way, I can't believe this and that. It just made it so much better. And the transition I felt was really good, that it almost really could have been maybe because I played them both back to back, it could have all just been one big fucking game.
Nice.
Because the biggest difference between the two is in 0 you play as 2 different people, and 1 you play as just one guy.
So they are all connected.
Yes.
Okay, so the franchise itself, all the games matter in some capacity.
Right. I think there's 2, but they aren't numbered. I think it's Dead Souls, and I forget what the other one's name is that are kind of on the outside. But 1 through, I think the new one, I don't remember what the new one's called. I think it's like a Dragon or something like that. But they are all connected. I'm pretty sure, again, because I haven't played the other ones, you play as the main guy, Kiryu, I always pronounce it wrong. You play him in all of the games. But
gotcha.
Absolutely great game.
You've been on a little Japanese, almost a tour right now with all the games that kind of break your mold of games that you really like, or kind of in this. What's the era that you like for the Japanese? It's when they were still doing dynasties.
Oh, the Edo and stuff like that, all the weird, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, dude. This thing. It's just hard to describe. You really have to play it and you either love it or you hate it.
Well, because I was getting a lot of shit when it was first coming out, but it seems now that it's out, it's doing well. And again, it's on the Game Pass, so it's not. I mean, if you got the Game Pass, there's 2 games that you can just jump right into.
No, it's beautiful, and there's just so much shit to do. There's so much weird shit. I even put it in my thing. You can go from a serious mission in the main story to you're helping this dominatrix because she's too nice, so you're trying to teach her how to assert herself and be rough to her customers and shit like that. And that's the thing is even when you're doing all this, I found myself doing so much side stuff because it just adds to my character. It's not just side shit, that's it, one and done. Like, it felt like it really gave me a deeper understanding of who the person is that I'm playing as.
You have to 100% it now if it's in your top 5.
I think I'm going to, and it's going to take a long time to do, but it's...
What's tedious about it? What's going to be long? Like, doing just a bunch of quests?
There's other stuff in there that you have to do that's, like, luck-based. Like, you have to play, like, Mahjong, or, like, there's, like, car races. You have to get, like, all these pieces and stuff. There's, like, certain gambling things to it. So it's more of the, like, minigame side stuff that I think is more tedious and grindy, because you got to get all the good shit to be able to do it. But either way, I absolutely love them. And, again, I beat that, like... earlier this week. I haven't played anything now because I feel kind of like empty.
Nice, yeah. That'll happen. You take out 2 big games, it's almost just like you need a break sometimes.
I don't even think it was because they were big. I think it's because they were so good that I don't think I'm ready to play anything else. Because I wasn't expecting them to be good. I was like, oh, I'll just run through these. They might be cool.
And they're being really nice. I mean, how rare is it when you play a game and it cracks your top 5?
There is a game that has
Especially
6 iterations and has been around for this long, didn't know shit about it.
Yeah, because a lot of people's, when you talk to most, I would say, not everyone, when you talk about someone's top 5, it's usually at least mostly based on, like, nostalgia. A lot of people will go back to, like, oh, the first Mario I played, or this and that. So the fact that a game that you played in 2020 is still able to crack that list is
that's
impressive.
what it kicked out, actually, was a Mario game.
Which one? Mario
World?
Okay.
It's always between Mario World or Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door, between those two, because I love them both. But I just had to take Yakuza Zero over either.
So nice, man. So guys, go check out that review. Andrew did a good job on it.
What are you playing?
And play it. I have been kind of off the Xbox. I don't think I've played a game on the Xbox in a while. I've been wanting to play my Switch more. So when I was in Phoenix at our good friend of the show, Cien's house, he was playing Octopath Traveler. And I remember being like, damn, it's a Square Enix game. And I'm like, I want to play this game. It looks badass. And but it's, as we all know, Nintendo games stay at $60 forever. And recently, due to the pandemic, there's been a lot of digital sales. And I think it was on sale for like $30.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I'll dive into this RPG. And it is, and I was telling Cien, because it's like 16-bit rendered looking, it's one of the best RPGs in that, kind of, that look.
I've seen it. It looks really good.
That I've ever played. It's got, obviously, these 8 characters that you can go pick up, and you don't even have to make your team all 4. You can do it in 3, you can do it in 2. The best part is that the combat system is like, enemies will have like a shield and they'll have weaknesses, so you got to kind of base your team on how to crack them, and it's so fun. And there's side quests, there's collectibles, everybody has an ability that they can use outside of combat. So like Ulbrich the knight, he can challenge people that are blocking doors, so if you beat them they knock out and you can go in. Therion is like a thief, so you can go up to people and steal items off of them. It's an amazing game, and I beat it with 4 characters. I beat Ulbrich, I beat Therions, I beat Cyrus, and I beat Alphen. But what I was reading, though, is you don't get the real ending until you beat everybody's. Then you can go back and do it. So I'm already at like 60 hours with this game, and that's just doing the 4 characters and side quests. So
how many are there?
There's 8. So I got to do a whole nother 4, and each of them has 4 chapters that you got to do. And I've done chapter 1 for everybody. But after doing that, I'm like, dude, let me take a break, right? I beat it with my team, and then I'll go back and I'll do it. And eventually I'll do it. Not now. The other game I was playing was is it Pokken? Is that what we said? Pokken Tournament DX.
Yeah.
I guess, what would you call it? The modern day Pokemon Stadium, Coliseum?
Kind of reminds me almost like Tekken and Pokemon.
Yeah, and combined. It's good. Because you get a companion that you get to pick with, and I picked, I think it's like Dark Mewtwo. He's pretty badass, and then in the game you have like a side Pokemon that can help him out and shit like that. It's pretty fun. It's a good listen to a podcast and play game.
Luchador Pikachu?
I saw that, and I was looking at it, and I was just like, that's cool. And I wonder what the difference is between when you first bought the game, what the starters were, versus now. I don't know if maybe there was an update, or if that's the whole list from day one.
I wouldn't have.
It's pretty fun. What are you looking forward to playing next?
I honestly have no clue. If anyone wants to recommend any games, I was kind of almost thinking Nier Automata, but
I think I might just wait till the 19th. That's kind of what I would just play. Little small games. Don't get invested in another 40-hour until.
I think that's what I'm gonna do too. Is maybe just wait until The Last of Us 2. And just right now stick to like my shooters and stuff like that. Maybe catch up on some shows. I'm rewatching Avatar, so maybe stick to that.
See, I'm rewatching Entourage. Dude, it's nice. So, nice segue though, because the game we want to talk about, guys, is The Last of Us Part 2. So, Sony just did their State of Play, And yesterday, which was the 27th. It's about 23 minutes long. You get Neil Druckmann commentating over it, and he kind of talks about the gameplay. He talks about the new mechanics. He talks about the highs of what you can do in this game, and where kind of the storyline's going. We want to make sure, guys, we'll throw up a spoiler alert if this is anything you don't want to hear, because I didn't watch most of the end, because it's a big 10-minute gameplay, just because I didn't want anything ruined for me. I didn't want to see something maybe I didn't. So stop it now if you guys don't want to hear about it. We're going to do our best not to get into story. We're kind of just going to be more talking about the highlights of what the game mechanics and gameplay revealed. So Andrew, you saw this juicy how you show off game 23-minute thing for State of Last of Us 2. Thoughts?
It's better than Assassin's Creed's real gameplay.
Bro!
Now, I thought it looked really good. The game looks phenomenal as always. I think what they even managed to do is the first thing I wrote down was just that it's a brutal game. It literally,
it's dark.
They took it and made it times 10, a lot darker than it already was before. And that's just the craziest part about it. And I'm into if it's gonna be post-apocalyptic and stuff like that, I enjoy my stuff Borderlands in a way is post-apocalyptic. Right. It's a lot lighthearted, so I prefer the opposite end of the spectrum, something gritty, real, that sort of thing. And I think it looks absolutely great, and I can't wait to fucking play it.
Yeah, we watched it again today, but you watched it before. Did you stick to the IGN version? Because I know a couple things were showing it off. Is that who got the premiere for it?
I watched it straight on Sony's YouTube.
Okay, yeah, because in our link in the description below, guys, there's the IGN revealing of it. So if you want to check it out, go check it out. I believe it's the 4K version of it. So it looks
that just came out today, I think.
Yeah, okay, so that's the one I watched today, and it looks fantastic. And so again, spoiler alert. So when you finish number 1, right, the concept is that Ellie was about to be killed. She was going to be taken by the Fireflies because essentially she is potentially the anomaly that can make a cure. Right. And then it doesn't happen. So now, because when this thing starts, you kind of see more of Ellie and Joel, right? Because everyone was kind of wondering what's Joel's role in this game. So moving over to that, when they start getting into the gameplay is mainly Ellie, right? Because the first game, you're playing Joel kind of protecting and moving Ellie along. This game's focusing on her. So when they were showing that, this is kind of her standalone game, that she's this person who's instantly in this big tragic thing with her lover and how her base was attacked. I mean, like you were saying, this game is going in a dark place, and I mean, it just looks great.
Yeah, I don't remember how old she is in the first one. I think she's maybe 14 or something like that.
Is it 5 years different? Is that how much time has gone
I know
by?
now that it says in this one that she is 19,
right.
So there's
late,
been a lot of time that's passed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not even just the storyline that seems like it's broke, because the story does seem like it's a lot darker. There's cutscenes, but even just basic things like the combat seems like it's been upped. She's holding someone hostage, which is a shield, which I think you could do before, but there's the killing mechanic. If you decide not to let him go, she pulls out a shiv and just prison shanks him
sugarcoat
in
any
the side.
Of it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we were watching it. I was just like, dude, my ribs hurt now just watching that.
Yeah, I think
it's brutal.
Towards the end, I think one of my favorite weapons I thought was the craziest, and I think there was something like that in the first one, but it didn't look like it had as good an impact as it did on here. It's just a big ass 2x4 with two steak knives going through it, taped together, and she just hammers someone right in the fucking face with it, and he instantly goes down.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn.
So again, this is by Naughty Dog, and this is Naughty Dog's biggest game to date. Now, be careful, because if you go online, I mean, a lot of stuff was spoiled for a lot of people. Like we said, we're doing our best not to. So let's go over kind of what Neil Druckmann was kind of highlighting. It was showing that the game is kind of like the last one, spans over seasons, right? So this is going to take over, I mean, it's going to show you the time frame. It's not a game that happens in a day or a week. It's going to go from summer to winter to spring, which is kind of cool. You get to see this world, because it's kind of I don't want to say open world, but it's definitely bigger. You get to see it, and
it looks, to ride a horse.
It looks gorgeous. Yeah, there's new modes of transportation. She has the horse, which they're saying is going to be able to get around. There's also going to be parts that have water, like lakes or rivers, and she's got a boat that she can get around. Yeah. So it's just by definition, if you've got to have traveling ways of transportation, then I'm curious of how big this game actually is going to be.
Yeah, because they did say it's more than one area, of course, it would be, because it starts... I don't know if
Jackson,
it starts in
Seattle,
Jackson,
to the northwest or something.
Yeah, Jackson to Seattle, and then who the fuck knows where from there. But yeah, she's going through the snow, the rainy weather, everything's just a lot more overgrown now. It kind of seems like than the
they
first
were saying that you can hide in the grass now, but you got to be careful because if someone does get too close, they're still going to be able to see you. So, I mean, it's just we saw it in the last review, but I still think the dog element is one of the things that are going to make this game way better than just trying to like hide until guys walk around a thing. Because now you got to constantly be on the move or take care of the problem directly.
I like the idea that it wasn't like too like when she killed someone. Oh, I don't think you saw it because it was in the extended part. Yeah, so she kills somebody like as gameplay, not story-wise. So like I think she shoots them. I don't know if it's with an arrow or a gun. I don't remember. But they come and they see the dead body, and it's not instantly like, oh shit, I know where they are. Someone's here. Now we're super alert and we're running right to you like some games do. Like they're literally like, okay, she's dead. We're on heightened alert. Fucking split up. Let's find this person, whatever. Because I hate like when you kill someone and someone's there, but they instantly know where the fuck you are and they come running towards you and stuff like that.
It's like that beeline with this one. I mean, it definitely shows that the AI in this game is like definitely reactionary, but like in a realistic way.
Yeah, now it definitely, and I don't know if you could do it in the first one because it didn't seem like it worked too well. Like when I would run away from someone to hide or whatever, it kind of always seemed like they always knew where I was. Whereas in this, they purposely say like, hey, if you're overwhelmed, whatever, run. She breaks like a window and then crawls through like a crevice in a building to get over to like another building that's kind of been blown out to hide back there, and you'll be back into like a hidden mode, so where they don't know where you are.
Right, yeah, they're completely encouraging the fact that if something's overwhelming, leave. And then reestablish yourself in the combat. And I'm like, that's cool. It's very experimental. You can literally go into a thing, eyeball it, retreat, and then re-strategize, and then go back in and handle it.
Right. And what I really liked about that, too, is that they actually showed off, and there's different ways that you're going to have to handle these situations, is the enemy variations. Because it's not just, like, random thugs or, like, guys or anything like that. Not just other survivors. There's two different sets of groups that are actually fighting, that are in a conflict. There's the Washington Liberation Front, or the WLF, which is almost like kind of like a militia. Like they beat out the military in that area, so they're really armed. They're not afraid to confront you.
Yeah, they're all geared up.
Yeah, they're all geared up. They got guns. They got the whole works. And then there's another thing that's almost seems like a cult. They're like a religious like fanatics. They're the Seraphites, or they're called the Scars because they got like scars all over their face. And it says that they're like a lot more like sneaky. They're about stealth. They'll like hide and try to ambush you. And so I like the idea of having these like split up groups of enemies that like the same tactics are not going to work.
Yes, I love it because what I was thinking of was like it's almost like when you play a Far Cry game. As much as I love those, when you go fight an enemy, it's always the same. It's always a group that's going to shoot at you. Blah 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 blah. When you play this, it's showing that regardless of what area you're in, whatever you're facing is going to have different tactics, whether that be the zombies that you're going to face, whether that's going to be the infected, the new military geared group, or the now stealthy sneak around religious zealots. And it's just like cool. There's going to be variations of different enemies. So I mean, it almost just lends itself to where the combat, almost by definition, can't be stale at that point if you're constantly going to have to fight different people throughout a 40 or so, maybe it's a 40, 30 hour game. I like that. It's brilliant that you can have different enemies like that, and we'll know when we play it. But it's just gonna be cool because your combat tactics are gonna have to always be ready to switch at a moment's notice depending on what you run into.
Right, and that's what I like too. And then they even show off there's different ways to play too. So as she's going along, there's a group of infected, and then you have the WLF with all their guns.
Oh, yeah,
so she throws like a bottle or something like that to get them all to start, like, the infected are going to come towards the sound, these guys start investigating, then it turns into, like, a fight to where they're going, you know, you can either choose to jump in, maybe try and bypass them. It also reminds me of one of my other games that I adored was Alien Isolation, because the alien's always lurking, you come into a group of humans, if you choose to fight them and they start shooting, that alien's going to come running. So maybe sometimes a better thing to do is throw something to draw the alien towards them, let the alien deal with them, and then you go through and do whatever.
Yeah, the fact that your enemies aren't all on the same side, the enemies of the enemies of the enemies are all facing you. So, like, yeah, that's a great concept that just because you don't like them doesn't mean they like each other. So I love the fact. And they've been saying, like, use things like, you know, one of the new things she has is a rope that she can start using to jump around and kind of get around. She's like, if you don't want to get into a combat, you don't necessarily have to. I mean, use the environment and get from A to B how you want to. There's no direct linear path to get there. Do it how you think feels right. And if any game can give you, even if it's a small choice like that, it's just going to make every experience very unique and probably very special. If you're going, hey, I played more stealth. Oh, I played more combat, so that's always good to have.
A different experience, than anyone else would have. I do want to note, too, that as big as this game is for how, like, they made it seem, they showed off a lot of areas, and it looks like it's pretty expansive.
Huge.
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah. Even watching that looked great, and it's going to look better when we actually have it.
Right. I didn't see, like, any, like, weird clipping or, like, weird, like, AI or just random shit that, of course, was something that big. You know, something's always not going to work right or something like that. I didn't really see anything like that during the gameplay.
Like FF7 had.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, he'll get there eventually.
But it's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, the other thing I want to point out, because I think we're probably at the tail end of this thing, is that she is going to have allies, right? They were showing off that in combat, you know, and I don't know if it's going to be based on storyline or if you can collect people that might be able to follow you through maybe a quest or a side quest. Allies are going to be able to help you. If you're in a fight, it showed, I don't know the guy's name, the Asian guy was shooting something, helping her out in combat.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 different people that went through.
Yeah, so that looks kind of cool. So there is going to be help, right? Even though they didn't really showcase Joel so much, she's not going to be doing this completely alone. So that was kind of cool. They showed that there's going to be training manuals that you can get that's going to help you level up the new and improved workbench, where we were watching her kind of itemize the gun. Yeah, the workbench looks sick. I liked it. They're taking sometimes when you play a game, a crafting system can be very overwhelming. Like, especially if you play games like Witcher, where it's like alchemy based. But if you're doing something like this, where it's just all collecting nuts and bolts and strings and making your guns better, and if you can make it simplified, which they're saying it is and it's better, then I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sure it's like a speedrunner, you probably wouldn't care for it, but like as
someone stick to a knife the whole time.
Yeah, as someone else, like I like the fact that she starts like one of the things they showed off was she's got like a rifle, she puts it down, pops out the bolt, like there's a whole like little thing you're waiting for. And then as you're choosing what to upgrade, she's taking the scope, mounting it onto the gun, putting the bullet back in, reloading it and everything like that before she actually takes off. So it's like a whole like little thing when you're on the workbench upgrading the guns. Or even like the pistol, she's taking the magazine out and like examining it, doing all that shit. So I like how like thorough and like how good just it looks as far as the animations and everything goes.
It's not like Division where it just shows the gun, you put a scope on it and it appears, you put another one on it appears. Like it actually shows their knowing her shit and put it on. So I mean, anyone that appreciates more realism, I mean, the workbench is more realistic.
It's not something I want for every game. I don't think I would like that in the scale of something in the Division because you're doing it all the time. But for something like this, I think it lends itself well and it's done extremely well.
Yeah, and I like that it shows that she's grown up. She knows this stuff now because when you meet her in the first game, she's not like this. And now we got this girl that can...
She's a cold-blooded killer.
That can just put this gun together. So, I mean... It is what it is, whether you like it or not. I thought the 23 minutes was exactly how a state of play or a game reveal, or if you're trying to show something off in a game, should be. I mean, Sony, like we were saying, I think in our last episode, they haven't said much, and they're not really bragging too much. And again, we're all kind of waiting for the PS5. But when you show off a game, that's how you do it. And when the last week or so, when they did Ghost of Tsushima, that's how you do it. So if we can keep moving in this direction with state of plays and all the games they're going to show off, I'm impressed. I was impressed by the last one. I'm impressed by this one, and I'm sure the next one they do isn't going to be any worse.
Yeah, I think anyone who's doing digital events needs to look, and if you're going to show one game, that's the way it needs to be done. Right. Because I thought it doesn't even have to be the full 23 minutes, but this just showed me absolutely everything that I was wanting more, and I literally can't wait for more.
Right, and again, these games are coming out next month, so I mean, this is probably the last big thing we're going to see. But in general, just show us off stuff that we want to see about games. And when you can have like Neil Druckmann doing commentary over it and kind of highlighting it and pointing certain things out that maybe in a trailer when you watch it, you don't notice, it's cool. It's more without giving anything away, because he didn't really give anything away. And at the end of this thing, there's 10 minutes of gameplay, like solid gameplay. I kind of skipped over it because I didn't want to see anything more or less. You watched it all.
There's a little story into it.
So check that out. The only other thing I think we missed was they're saying there's going to be several is it infected? Several new infected, but the one they showed off was the Shamblers, and these are going to be these guys that have these kind of spores growing on them, these fungi, and when they burst and like flame and shit like that, and that looks sick. And he was saying like, if you want to see the rest of them, play the game. And I'm like, man, how many more are there?
Different variants. Yeah, that looked badass too. So I had actually one other thing to add. Is that the embargo for this game is actually up on the 12th, so 7 days before the game even releases, which I don't remember if it was a whole month ahead or if it was a week ahead. of last time because I don't remember when the last one launched. But I know
PS3.
that the review came out just before E3 had happened.
Right.
So it was a good chunk of time, at least before. And that's just how confident they are in this game.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody had any doubt. I mean, it sucks if anything got spoiled for you, but we know this game looks good, A, and B, is going to deliver. And the fact that they're doing an embargo 7 days prior, I don't know if I'll read anything, because I don't want too much thing, because
usually I just skip it and I look at the score. I just like to get the overall consensus. So that way when I'm playing it and I'm judging it for myself, I'm like, okay, well, I don't understand how this person gave it a 10, or I don't understand why this game's 6. It's clearly a this or whatever. And then I'll go back and read stuff after I've kind of formed my own opinion. But I just like to gauge and see, like, okay, what's the average score? Like, what's it getting? Do people say it's good or bad?
What would you guess this game's going to get?
I think it's going to get...
Let's do IGN.
Based off that, another 10.
Because what do? They just do 10, right?
Yeah.
They don't do 100 anymore?
No, it's not the 100.
You think it'll be a 10?
I think it'll be another 10.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was
Naughty Dog's got a great track record that I don't see why they wouldn't.
I was going to say maybe 9.5, but if any game this year is going to be a 10, this is probably the one that most people have their eye on to be a 10.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to add on Last of Us Part 2? It comes out on the 19th. Andrew and I are going to make a day out of it. Anything else you want to add on that?
Nope, I'm good.
So guys, jump in the comments. Let us know what you thought of the state of play. Let us know if you plan on getting Last of Us Part 2. Let us know if you think it looks as good as we think it does, or if it's overhyped and it's just going to be a game you get when it's on sale, remastered, PS5 for $20.
Maybe we'll buy it for somebody.
Yeah, or into the contest, and we'll get it for you. So let's move on. That's our only story, guys, right? That was the big piece of news we wanted to go over.
Kind of slower this week,
put it on your radar. Andrew and I, again, we don't talk about every little thing that happens. That was the big one that happened yesterday. So let's move into ripping it up. I've only got one. I think you have two, so why don't you tee off?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. So next week, and actually pretty exciting too, hopefully. So Jason Schreier, huge guy in the news and the media and stuff like that, actually said that he's got word, and other people come forward saying, yeah, like, this is whatever, that the PS5 reveal event is going to be next week on June 3rd. So
I know what we're talking about next week.
Yeah, so I'm actually really excited for that, just because I'm really excited to see the console. Hopefully maybe I doubt we'll get the price. I really think everyone's going to wait till the last minute before we do pricing.
I hope
but
not.
I do
people need to start saving. You know what I mean? How do you know
you got to start getting your pre-orders in.
How do you know what to save if you don't know what it is until a month before the console's announced?
So by the way, I'm excited just to see what it kind of looks like too, and just to kind of finally get it out of the way. Because I feel like it's just this big build-up that if it's not what it needs to be or they do it wrong, then just lets all the air out of the fucking room. So hopefully it's done right, and then just ride that snowball straight into fucking whenever it releases.
Oh, Andrew. One of the things I remember, I think was being speculated, was that on that reveal, they're supposed to be having at least some games that are going to be on the official launch window.
Who knows if they'll even show games? Who knows if it's just going to be
a
360 of the fucking console? And
you think it's going to stick to that old design that has the big V? They haven't finalized that look, right?
The fucking thing that they said was the test kit for devs or whatever, the weird fucking...
Yeah, that can't be right.
It would match the controller.
I just don't get how we know what the Series X looks like. We saw it last year at the Game Awards show, what it's going to look like, and we're still guessing at what the PS5 is going to look like, and it comes out in... Well, hopefully it comes out in 6 months?
Oh, they did update their page, the PlayStation 5 page, to say coming holiday 2020. So it's confirmed holiday 2020.
How many times have we heard somebody say something and get pushed? How many games get pushed back? I mean, we live in a time where it's excusable. I mean, if they want to push it to next quarter, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I got backlog for day, and do I want to fork out $600 and another $120 to get a couple games? I mean, I could easily wait. I just don't know why we don't know what it looks like, and if they don't show it at that leak, when? The next state of play? I like it, man. That's on the 3rd, which would be... Is that a...
Next Wednesday, I think.
Okay, cool. So we'll have that, and then we'll talk about it on the next show. Look at you bringing something to the table. I wanted to bring up... IGN kind of showed off its Summer of Gaming, right? We're living in this time where a lot of people want to do digital showcases, and... IGN, this is theirs. It's beginning on June 5th, and I think what they have... It's going to go, I think, till August, but they've got up until June 24th mapped out, and they're showing that guys like Arcade 1UP, Blizzard, EA, Stadia, Facebook, Xbox, and Square Enix are all going to be a part of this. We'll probably show a picture right about now, and there's a link in the description. It's got a lot of good stuff, man.
Yeah, there's way too much to go over.
It's not just a day of something. I mean, it's a whole month of good things. There's going to be interviews. There's going to be behind the scenes. There's going to be what's coming up with certain studios. So if you guys are looking for more news as you're sitting at home, due to not being able to go out, check this out. IGN's delivering, and I got to say, because the other one we're waiting on at least more clarity with is Jeff Keighley's Summer of
his
Summer
so far
Game
it's
Fest.
just been like whenever he tweets something like, hey, tomorrow, hey, next week. It's not like a set this date. Like
Right.
These are confirmed dates.
Yeah, so if you want to mark your calendars, check it out because it is quite a bit of info, and I'm looking forward to it. It lets guys like us prepare of things to talk about. I mean, we can kind of look at it and go, oh, that looks good, and that happens the day before the show. Let's look at that, let's watch it, let's review it, and let's talk about it. So kudos to IGN. Keighley, I know, is still doing stuff, and at this point, I can't imagine that there wouldn't be more things from State of Play like Sony, more inside Xbox, and I'm sure Nintendo's going to be doing something soon. So
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
check your calendars, kids.
So my last one is actually Game Rant, which is another website. It has a report from, and it's just another leak, but it kind of inspired a question that I had from a leak from 4chan that Final Fantasy 16 is going to be revealed at a summer event. And they also had some more news in there too, as far as like another game that's going to be showed off with it. But I didn't really want to get into that because my real question that I had was, so if they do show off this Final Fantasy 16,
You asking me?
yes, yeah.
He's put me on the spot. Okay, what?
Would you rather, because they have 7 in multiple parts, and I don't really kind of know how I feel about it either, especially because I haven't played 7, so for me, I'm indifferent now. Would you rather them do 7, then 7-2, 7-3, however many fucking 7s until they're done before
And
they
then
jump
16?
on and do 16? Or would you rather 7, then 16, then whatever, then 17, then whatever?
I want the numbers to move on as soon as they're done. So if 15 was, 2 years ago or so? I want 16 next. 7 is a special side project that anyone that likes it can keep getting. But we need to keep the actual series moving as it goes. I would not want to play...
I agree.
Because if you don't like Final Fantasy 7, you're going to wait 5, 10, 15 years to play 17.
Why not? We had to do it for 13.
Whoa, bro. I hear you. I would like the numbered FFs to keep moving because that's the concept of the game. Move on, meet new characters, play the thing. FF7 is just icing on the cake for any Final Fantasy 7 or just Final Fantasy in general fan. So yeah, I wouldn't want them to slow down that, or maybe even do a day where they release simultaneously. I'd go buy both of them.
It's just kind of a weird concept to think about, like...
Yeah, it is. But the fact is, because what were we talking about this an episode or so ago? They don't even know
how many parts.
Yeah, there is no production. They're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we finished number 1. We don't know how many are left, but we'll get started on number 2. And so it's like, there's no way I'd want to put my eggs in the basket of we're going to keep the faith of Final Fantasy buyers based on let's put out 7 and then we'll put out the next 16. Put out 16 if it's ready. So if they're saying that it's going to come out and it's ready, then yeah, give me a new cast of characters.
I hope if they show it,
I always look forward to an RPG. So.
I hope if they do reveal it, it's within 6 months. I don't want to do another, hey, we're going to show off this game. It's out in 2 years. It's out next year. It's out at the end of next year. If it's the start of next year, I'm okay with that. Within 6, I'll even do 8 months. Within 8 months,
that's fine. I don't think
showing me this game, it better be out. Because I'm so tired of seeing fucking all these games that for 3 years in a fucking row and...
Yeah, I mean, 7 just dropped. I'm not in a rush to play another Final Fantasy. I still need to go play 15.
See, I haven't played it, and I already beat 15.
Well, once you beat Last of Us, I'll get you on 7.
I'll wait the year.
To play it on Xbox?
Watch when 16 releases right when 7 does on Xbox, and it's all on everything.
See, I'd appreciate that too.
And then I'll beat them back to back like those Yakuzas.
Oh, bro! So, I had my riff. Is that everything you got?
Yeah, that was mine.
So let's get into video game questions of the week. So this question comes from John Tavitz, and he asks, here's a question for your next show. What's the longest time you have played a game non-stop except for bathroom and food? It's so weird because I literally was just talking about this with someone the other day. I remember, because I don't normally, when I'm not a computer guy, I'm not an MMO, so I know anybody that is in that field probably has crazy stories of 3-day benders and doing whatever. But I remember that in high school, I played God of War 3 from start to finish, and I didn't stop until it was done in one sitting. And I remember in college, I played Star Wars The Force Unleashed in one sitting until it was done. And then up until, I would say maybe whenever Halo 5 came out, day one, me, Sean Love, and a couple other cats played Halo 5 in one sitting until it was done. So that would be, I can't tell you the time. I don't know what that is per game, but that is probably my extent of being sit down and don't stop until a game's done. So there's 3, and I don't think I have the strength anymore to do things like that. Halo 5 took a lot out of me, especially when you got to work the next day. I mean, we don't have summer vacation anymore, so I'm not in junior high being able to play games all night. But those 3 stand out in my head, and maybe if I would have looked deeper into my catalog, there might be another game that maybe I did in one sitting. But those 3 stand out to me as games that I started and then it stopped until they were done. So. How about you, sir?
I would actually go in a different direction as far as game-wise. Like, I don't think I've ever picked up a game and beat it in one sitting, like, with something like that. But I have...
Sleepovers?
Gotten started on, like, Battlefield 4 at, like, noon. And didn't... Because I was obsessed with that game. Yeah. Didn't stop playing it till, like, 4 in the morning. So that's, like, a 14-hour session right there. And I did the same thing with, like, Modern Warfare 2. So, yeah, I don't know the longest session. I know for sure I could name at least a 14-hour session that I've done.
And I could see, like I said, MMOs are easily probably those kind of games where those guys get lost. I wasn't even thinking about that. Playing just, like, TK plays Halo. I couldn't even tell you how long this motherfucker just sits there and just
Especially plays. When it's a brand new one and it's hot and it's good. Especially because Battlefield 4 was coming off of the 360, playing it on the Xbox One. Once we just got it, it wasn't the best at launch, but it worked. But I was going from a whole new... I think original on Battlefield on 360 was like 12 on 12 to go into 32 on 32 matches, 64 players total with all kinds of vehicles and shit like that. That I spent, like, I think that's the game that I have the most time put into on the Xbox One was Battlefield 4. I think I have like over like 1,000 hours.
Is Call of Duty Modern Warfare the one with Terminal?
Modern Warfare 2, yeah.
Okay, I remember. I think that came out around Christmas X amount of years ago. I remember reading stories of people just binging that game too, because I mean that was just the hottest thing.
Yeah, no, I spent a shit ton of time on Modern Warfare 2, but I don't know if I know that I have a visual aid in my head of fucking Battlefield 4. So.
Yeah, and the only thing I think is maybe as a kid doing like sleepovers and stuff and just playing games when your parents go to sleep, staying up all night and doing that. So who knows? But that's a younger body, younger mind, and more energy than, you know, a 30-something-year-old has. I don't have the strength anymore, man. I don't know if a game came out, I don't know if I could sit down and just spend 14 hours regularly anymore. I mean, it's a rare occasion.
I know one day when I was younger, I beat Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Link's Awakening DX on like the game. I did them all in like one day.
See, there's a feat. I like that.
And so, yeah, I don't know how long it took because Majora's Mask. I mean, without doing all the side shit, you can beat that one pretty quick. The Link's Awakening, you could run through that game.
What, like 5 hours or so? 6?
I don't know. It was a full day event.
A full day. So I want to know. It's a great question. I want to know what everybody else says. What their story is. So if you guys watch these videos, and we ask you to leave in the comments, guys, jump in the comments and answer this. I love, and Andrew does too, engaging with you guys. I want to hear stories, and it's half the fun of being a gamer is talking to someone else and hearing their crazy nonsense that they go through. I mean, Andrew and I were crazy enough to start a show. I at least want to hear what your longest game session was playing a game that you might remember.
Yeah, like give me those highlights.
Give me the highlights. So, Andrew, anything else we need to add into that?
No.
Okay, so let's move in. At the tail end of this is the contest, guys. We are on episode 47. Go back to episode 44, I think. 44 to 49 is the contest. It's the giveaway. Hashtag Quarantine Gamer. Andrew and I are going to pick 2 winners and give them a game, and we're going to announce that on episode 50. So if you guys are looking to get a free game or at least throw your hat in the ring, go to episode 44. Stop at 49, enter Quarantine Gamer, hashtag Quarantine Gamer, and we will draw names, and hopefully that is going to be you. Tell everyone you know. Tell your mom, tell your spouse, tell your siblings, tell whoever, and have them enter for you, and you will win. We've given away PS4s. We've given away Nintendo Switch Lites. We give away games, guys, so we're not yanking your chain. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and then just comment. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that.
Don't just make sure that you're subscribed.
Do it.
You have to be subscribed because we've pulled people before who just like liked and did whatever, but we're not subscribed and we just threw their name out. We're not even going to write you, won't say a word to you.
Yeah, these are facts. Hard
facts. Also, it can be whatever game you want that launches this year. So if you want fucking Cyberpunk 2077 whatever, we'll do that for you, and that won't interfere with any further content.
Ghost of Tsushima, Part 2, Final Fantasy 7.
So yeah, something that at least launches this year. I don't want to owe you a game that's 2 years later, the end of next year. I don't want to be waiting around that long. As long as it launches this year, that's fine.
Or past.
And it's got to be just the base game.
Right. No definitive editions, no collecting series, the $60, whatever the base value of the game is.
If it's a $60 definitive collector's edition, something like that, then I'll let that one slide. But as long as it's the price of a normal average $60 game with tax, 65 something, then you're in it.
If you guys want the $20 Spider-Man with all the DLCs, we'll get it for you. So if there's a
game, if you don't want to waste this win on that 2-year-old game,
just don't ask for anything rare. Don't ask for anything more than the base value, and we'll get it for you guys. And again, we're not a huge channel, so the comments aren't filled with 100,000 people doing it. So you've got a really, really good chance of winning.
What are you talking about? We're pretty big. We got Kona as a sponsor.
Kona's sponsoring us, and we're going to announce that on the next episode. So, Andrew, the contest, guys, I don't know if we can be any clearer. Is there anything else you want to add on this action-packed show?
No. Enter now.
Enter now, guys. Do it for us. So
enter now, party later.
Until next time, guys, my name is Craig Perales, and that is Mandrew Montemayor. Cheers.
What would you say is like your number one song from a kid show?
Like it has to have words, not just music?
No, it could be anything. I'll tell you what brought this about.
Like, you mean like what stands out to me and I'd always hum it, or like we mean absolutely, because I really like the X-Men.
X-Men's good and I love it and I listened to it recently, but going back, I would say my favorite, and maybe it's just because I've been watching it a lot recently instead of watching other stuff like it should be, is the song for Goosebumps. Bum 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 bum.
Oh wait, what am I thinking? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because that's how it starts, is with the piano.
Yeah. That's a good one, because it's on those Power Hours too, with that guy. It's the guy in the briefcase.
Yeah,
and the dog's eyes turn green,
and then the
whatever.
dog barks. So it's like woof woof.
Yeah.
But going back and like listening to it, I was like, man, this song is like really fucking good, and I think that might be my favorite kid song. I think I might even put that like over Pokemon and X-Men.
Ooh, that's a bold, because that's definitely just music. There's no words in that. There's no like lyrics.
Well, the reader, beware. You're in for a
Yeah, I like X-Men. Classic. Pokemon's almost a default.
I wonder if maybe it's because I love horror things that like I've always loved Goosebumps since I was like a kid.
You're giving me goosebumps, sir.
So we were watching Goosebumps because I've been rewatching like the entire series like front to back.
Yeah, see, I've been watching X-Men. I'm on the last season. I'm on like episode 3.
Isn't the last season garbage?
It's not like the other ones. I mean, the other ones are like awesome. This one's like, it's got a weird. I was reading the trivia. It was like done by a different studio at the end, and that's why it doesn't look.
Yeah, didn't we watch something that was?
It's something weird. I
yeah,
like, I don't even know if I want to finish it because it ended good the way the season before it did. I don't want it to ruin it for me because Beast looks weird.
You should start watching those fucking wrestling things I've been telling you about, dude.
I know. Well, I was watching them with Gino, but
I didn't know Superfly Snuka killed somebody.
He killed someone?